favourite ways to treat the symptoms of sciatic pain. So if you are experiencing tightness in your lower back, pain or shooting pain or sharp pains around the back of your pelvis or down the side of your legs, if you are in similar positions day in, day out, so whether that be sitting at a desk or whether that be standing for long periods of time, sciatica could be an issue for you, as could lower back pain. So these are my favourite exercises for treating that discomfort. But also do remember that with any kind of pain like this, it's usually the body's red flag. So make sure you get a decent diagnosis, make sure you get some proper treatment, and make sure you look into a plan going forwards to avoid this happening again. So working to strengthen, stabilise and release the muscles, the tightness, and creating a really good plan going forwards. So you can join me on the mat for our first stretch. Okay, we're going to start lying down. So making yourself comfortable, feet hip distance, and arms are just relaxed, shoulders are relaxed. And you're just going to start by sliding your left leg away and then drawing your right leg in towards you. Now, if you could just backtrack very slightly, place the right foot down. Can you just check that your pelvis is square? So that you haven't got a shortening on one side of the waist, that the hips are level, you're resting on your tail, your shoulders are open. And then you're going to draw that leg in and just hug it in towards you. If you can't hold on to the front of the shin, then hold on to the back of the thigh. You could always get a band or a strap to go around the thigh to help you to draw it in. Really try and release here. Try and lengthen the right sit bone towards the end of the mat while squeezing the right leg in towards your armpit or in towards your chest. You want to think that as you draw this leg in, try not to sink through the lower back. I'd really like you to try and maintain neutral, so your tail is down and you're really thinking about your body alignment. So often sciatic pain can come on because we're out of alignment. We're creating tightness somewhere around the pelvis, whether that be in the lower back or in the muscles in the back of the pelvis, the piriformis. But whatever the reason for it is, usually bad alignment has something to do with it. So getting that length down both sides of the waist, the tail down, the chest open, shoulders relaxed, and then just use this arm to draw the leg in. Now, sometimes people feel a little bit of compression on the front of the hip. I just really want you to try and relax into the leg. So let the arms do the work. Try and relax that thigh. Take a few breaths. And then let's lengthen that leg away and we even out by doing exactly the same on the other side. Shoulders down, chest open, squeeze the knee in. Making sure you're not sinking, you've still got your neutral spine. So you're still slightly arched away from the ground here, you're still resting on your tail. This side of your waist is long, don't hike up. Make sure you push that hip away and then squeeze the leg in. So remember, it's not about how far the leg comes in, it's about the stability and then drawing the leg in. Otherwise, we just perpetuate the problem. So we want to take ourselves out of our habitual patterns and just find some new space, some new release. Squeeze this knee in, lengthen the tail to the floor. Try and relax into that hip, open the chest, relax the thigh. Take a couple of big breaths and then release that leg back down. Number 2, knees side to side. So lying yourself down again, let's have the knees together, feet together. Arms are by your sides and just open them to this kind of wide V shape. Shoulders are open, chest is proud, tummy on. You're going to inhale and allow those knees to roll. Now as they roll, you want to keep your shoulders on the floor and your chest open. So you're creating a bit of rotation through your spine, through your lower back. And then you exhale back to center. Now can you imagine you've got 50-pound notes between your knees? So you can't let those knees slide. Inhale over and take them over as a unit. So your hip will lift on one side, but that shoulder, corresponding side, needs to stay on the ground. Now this does a few things. It creates rotation through your spine, which is going to release any tightness in the lower back. It gives an opportunity for the core to engage. So as you bring these legs back, take a big exhale. Really follow that breath, and that's going to switch the tummy on. So it's teaching your body that to bring ourselves back to our starting position, we need core. We need that core support. It's also really nicely, because you're rolling across the back of the pelvis, and each time you come back to center, you're coming back to your tailbone, to a neutral position. You're also rolling across a muscle at the back there called the piriformis, which can often be the cause of sciatic pain. Tightness in the piriformis. So by rolling from side to side like this, you're going to create a little bit of release, a little bit of massage, a little bit of kind of trigger point therapy. Make sure your chest is open. Now, if you want to extend this, you can just take the head the other way and exhale back to center. Let's do one more the other way. Inhale over and exhale back. Relax the center. So very often the reason for sciatic pain is tightness in the glutes. So I'm going to show you a few options of how to get really good glute stretch. We're only going to do one side now, so you need to come back and do the second side as well to make sure you're really even. So the first option is to find a blank wall or an edge of a sofa. Shuffle your bum in fairly close. Take your right foot to the wall and then bring your left foot across. Now, the beauty of doing it against a wall here is that you can shuffle away if that feels too tight or you can't get your tail to the ground, or you can shuffle in if it doesn't feel like it's doing anything. But really and truly, priority is all around positioning. You want your waist long on both sides. I'd like you to have your tail on the floor, chest open, and then just pressing your knee out to the side of the rim. Now, if you're tight in your hip, you may find this leg comes in towards the armpit. Your job is to, over time, gradually, using the breath, open it out to the side. Take a few breaths here and just hold here. Don't sink into the lower back. Hold at a point of reasonable discomfort, not pain, but if it's achy or it feels like it's doing something, then this is where you stay. If you'd then like to take it to the next version, you could wrap your hands around. You could either shuffle closer, or you could wrap your hands around the back of your thigh and draw that leg in. If I show you on the side. And this is your classic glute stretch. Again, the mistake I see here is that very often people squeezing their lower backs to the ground. You've got to have your tail down to get the true stretch of all of the muscles that come from that area of the pelvis. So really and truly, make sure your shoulders aren't rolling forwards. Go for alignment over ego, always. Draw that knee in, open the other knee out to the side, and again, just take some big breaths. Every exhale is your opportunity to just take it a little bit deeper. Follow the breath for 4 or 5 big breaths and just hold. Take your time, don't rush. And then our third and final version is to come up to sitting, and this suits some people better than lying on the floor. So this is an option. You take the leg across, you draw the bottom leg in, but then you must make sure that you roll those shoulders back and lift up through the chest, okay? Now, if this is too much and you're in this position, take the leg further away. Get those sit bones to the ground. So you want a straight spine and an open chest. This one isn't so great if you're tight through your chest or your shoulders. If you spend a lot of time at a keyboard, you might be tight here. You might find opening the shoulders quite difficult. And if you do, you can see how you're not going to get that angle around the hip. So maybe lying on the floor would be better for you, or against the wall. But finding a version that works for you and then deepening it. So you could bring that foot in a little bit, lift up that chest a little bit further. Make sure the knee is still broad, the chest is still open, and you're breathing. Relax there. The next stretch I'd like you to do is a hamstring stretch. And for this, you're going to need a band or a towel or a dressing gown cord to help you. You're going to lie down on your back. Again, we're just going to do one side, so you need to rewind this and come back to the second side. We're going to take the band around the sole of the foot. Don't worry about where the leg goes to start with. That's just your ego trying to get involved. Get your tail to the floor first. Waist is long on both sides. Relax those shoulders. Your other leg can be bent if you need a bit more support, or straight if you're feeling strong and flexible. Okay, so I would say if you're suffering with lower back issues, let's have that knee bent. Relax your shoulders to the floor. Take the elbows down if you're holding a stretchy band. Don't worry if you're not, you can have the arms up. But make sure primarily that that tail is on the floor. Now, all you're going to do to start with is straighten that leg. Doesn't matter if it's low, doesn't matter where it is in space, as long as it's straight. Make sure you flex that foot. So can you push your heel away and draw your toes to your nose? Can you anchor that tail and bring the legs slowly, using your breath, up towards the ceiling. Now, the higher you go, the more likely you are to sink into your lower back. Don't let that happen. Be aware of your alignment. Remember that the hamstrings insert above your pelvis. So if you don't have a neutral position in your pelvis, you're going to be missing a whole section. And if you're suffering with sciatic pain, you're going to be missing the section that you need to be stretching. So usually with a hamstring stretch here, once you reach your top range, you're usually going to feel it down the back of the knee, maybe back of the calf, and flexing this foot, pushing the heel up, is going to really exaggerate that. But by being in this position with a neutral tail, so pelvis down, tail on the floor, you are going to be also stretching the back of the thigh and round the back of the pelvis. So I like people to hold this for about 10 breaths, and I like you to think of inhaling to lift the heel up, anchor the tail down, and exhaling to draw the leg a little bit closer. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, draw closer. Now, closing your eyes is always a good idea because it takes you away from that feeling of, I must go higher, I must go further, and it takes you into your body so you can really listen to what's happening. It's an inhale to lengthen and an exhale to draw closer. Anchor the tail, flex the foot, keep the knees straight. Otherwise, you're good. Just keep going with the breath. Shoulders can be fairly relaxed. Now, if you're brave and you fancy it, you can take both ends of the band into the opposite hand. Open the corresponding arm to a wide V. Anchor the other elbow down and just lean that leg gently towards your other leg. Now, don't roll your pelvis. Keep the anchor point. Keep flexing the foot. Keep the leg nice and high. This is going to take you into much more of a neural stretch, going down the side of the thigh, stretching out some of the grainier, more fibrous tissue down the side of the thigh that's a little harder to stretch, but can be there as a support mechanism. So we want to try and switch that off because we want your muscles to start to support you more efficiently. So we're leaning this leg over, we're not rolling the pelvis, we're not opening folding through the chest. And then take that center and relax down. Don't forget to do your other leg and take a breather. Final stretch involves you, a tennis ball, and a wall. So find yourself a space, and you're going to take this tennis ball and place it at the top of your pelvis. So if you feel for your tailbone and then run your hands along the side there, that's your piriformis muscle. So that's where we're going to position the ball. You're then going to lean against the wall, just doing one side to start with, and you're just going to bend your knees and put your body weight into that ball. And then just start to roll that ball around that area. Now, you'll probably find an area of tenderness, of a little bit of tightness. When you find that, just skirt around it. There's no pressure for the first time to go over it. You might find you need to bring that ball a little bit wider to the side, and you just have a little roll around and just find the area that feels a bit tight and just enjoy this massage. It's like a trigger point release, and it's lovely. But you may find that there are bits that are just too tender to go over today. Build up to those. You can lower the ball down a little bit, go more into the butt cheek, into the glute as a whole. You might want to take it wide. Again, you're going to find areas of tightness. So enjoy this bit, have a good roll around, take your time, and find a little bit of release through there. When you come away from the wall, it feels really nice. You really feel like you've released something and let something go. So give that a go and make sure you do both sides. Thanks so much for joining me. I really hope you loved this video. Be sure to subscribe and share this with another person in your life who you know would love it too. And if you'd like to know more about Mind Body Meno and how we can support you through menopause with tailored movement, expert advice and a community of women just like you, then click the link below in the comments. But for now, if you're ready to just enjoy another session with me, then just click here.